After 10 years, Siam finally gets a focus tree. Welcome to not just another video, but a video sponsored by Paradox Interactive. They have given me early access to the DLC yet again to give you a video on DLC release. That is the 11th of June, so today. That's it. If you want to try it out yourselves, why not use my link in the description and in the pinned comment. Using it will support the channel, of course. Anyway, I will be playing as Siam today, and with them I will try to kick the Imperialists out and replace them with and proclaim a greater Thai empire. So let's head in. Well, it has been 10 years, but Siam finally has a focus tree. Yes, we are here as Siam because I always wanted them to have a focus tree. You don't know, bro. But if you want to know why, it was a nation that, you know, had its finger in the pie. That was World War II, and them not having a focus tree for so long is kind of what the hell are you even doing moment, because you know there are a lot of other nations here and there that have focus trees that didn't even do anything in World War II except getting annexed. You know, but now finally Siam has one, and today what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna abuse the focus tree to its maximum to get a lot of land and to destroy Japan. I'm playing historical because I just like knowing what's gonna happen, you know. Anyway, first things first, let's select the army, train them, then let's build up some mills, research better guns and some industry, and yeah, build up some artillery, some infantry equipment, and let's get some convoys, and let's look at our brand new focus tree. It's honestly smaller than I was hoping. I was hoping it would be bigger, but whatever. So yeah, we have our political path, we have our industry path, military, either submitting or fighting, and navy. No air tree, since the only air focus we have is these two here. So we either build an air force or we don't. But yeah, I will go down the monarchist path because it's fun, you know. It's a little bit more fun than the historical one. But what is pretty cool about Thailand is that they can do limited wars. I don't have to go all the way to London for one state. Isn't that great? I'm a bit sad that it's just in the focus tree, like a focus tree or like decision mechanic for Thailand. Kinda. I really want like an actual limited war system that you can do with like every nation. I don't want to have to capitulate the allies for one state that they hold at the start of the game. Okay, it's annoying. It's not fun. But yeah, and today I will show you how to quite easily get all your land and then from there on destroy Japan, because we're playing on historical and I will not submit to Japan because before they will even demand my submission, I will already have all the land I want. So why the hell would I join? Anyway, we're gonna start with this focus right there. It's 7 days. Crazy. There is actually barely any 70-day focus, which honestly I like that a lot. Thailand has actually really barely any 70-day focuses, especially in the political path. Like there's a lot of 35 days focuses, and I will say it again, I love that. Anyway, let's get into our political path. This is gonna start some problems, since we're gonna have to balance the military and civilian wing, because if one of them dislikes our focus choices too much, they're gonna start a civil war, and we don't want that. We don't want that. But it's not too hard to balance that, and also you have a pretty big window once one of them becomes rebellious, so it shouldn't be a problem at all. But yeah, let's begin. We're gonna immediately start going down to this focus right here. That's gonna make the military rebellious, but like I said, we have a pretty big time window until it actually becomes a problem. But yeah, I would immediately select this chief of army. We have a special one, but first of all, he cost me like a lot of PP, and also it's kind of like I like the 10% attack a lot more than the 5%. Now yeah, he gives some orc, but like 6% are not that much. Let's also trade steel, since we want guns, and Thailand, let's just say resource wise steel is not one of them. We do have rubber and we can get a lot of rubber, but for now we're kind of poor. Anyway, with the midnight meeting we will now flip fascist. and we will start plotting against Fibun's rule over the country with some support in the military and the royalists. Our current king is actually in exile right now, so we're gonna try and bring him back. Anyway, let's now make the military not rebellious. Like I said, if they're rebellious, not good for you. But like I said, it's easily fixable. And also, these two starting focuses for either wing, they will allow you to increase one side over the other by doing raids on them. So that's also why, if you're a fascist, you still have the option for anti-fascist raids, you know, a bit interesting. But yeah, that's why these are still available. Let's get some radio and let's immediately get the better guns. And yeah, we're gonna go down to war fervor, since for pantheism, we're gonna need some war support. The world tension, until that happens, that's gonna take a bit too long. Now, why is that? Why do we want to go there fast? Since France, you know, at some point, they're gonna join the Allies, and we wanna basically take Indochina from them before they do that. Why? Otherwise, we're gonna have like a pretty big border we have to guard if we do any of the limited wars. Since these wars are not just against one country, we do have to fight everyone in the faction, but we can still peace out easily once we get the control over the territory. But yeah, that's why we want to kind of rush them down. How do we do that? With cavalry, of course. We're gonna make some one-width cavalry, and we're gonna try and capture the VPs as fast as possible. Still gonna keep these guys around, but for later on I will actually reduce this template. And speaking of template, the division designer has been updated, and also how you compose your template has been changed a lot. We have regimental supports now, which get unlocked once we have 3 line battalions in, you know, one of these lines here. And there is a lot more than what you can see right now, but since Thailand is pretty poor, that's all we got. Gonna add some infantry guns, which I want to do. It's gonna increase artillery, but I only have 4 divisions of these anyway. It don't matter that much. So with these regimental supports, support weapons have now been changed, since now, yeah, they no longer give you immediate buffs. You now unlock support weapons. Support weapons are now like the actual thing that you have to put in your division. That unlocks, and you know, the more you take, these things are gonna get buffs, and not your divisions as a whole immediately, like it was before. But yeah, I've not checked it out too much, so I also don't know like where you can find all this support regiments you can unlock here and there everywhere. But yeah, anyway, let's get back to increasing our war support. Now with this focus, we're gonna get some reduction in advisor cost, and with that we're gonna select the silent workhorse for political power gain. Anyway, let's get to war fervor now. Alright, with this we will now get ticking war support until we declare war, then the spirit gets removed. Most importantly with that is, if you get over 95% and you don't declare anyone for a little bit of time, you're gonna suffer a civil war. But I don't think that's really much of a problem, and also we're gonna be at war pretty early, so it's of no concern. We are gonna do the army of Siam now to get some of our army buffs here. And yeah, let's get some more cavalry out here. We now have enough for pantheism. I'm just gonna wait like a second in case the war support drops. But yeah, should be fine now. We can join the anti-common conflict. And yeah, we're gonna be soon at war with France. Now another thing to look out for is once you complete the focus, or like the moment you start to focus, then AI is gonna be like getting a notification for, you know, you justifying on them basically. And then they will like send troops on your border even after you complete the focus. They're still gonna have a lot of troops on your borders, or like try to, you know, have troops on your borders basically. But right now they don't, so that's why we gonna wanna do this. When we do this basically. But yeah, alright, I spawned out the rest, deleted these guys, and we're just gonna get to our focus. The most important thing with this war is gonna be securing the ports. My troops here, they are on immobile. Why? Because they're mostly just there to either pin the divisions or push them out of victory points we need. So 2 important things basically: capture the ports and capture the VPs to control the states, because we only need to control the states to get our peace out, to like peace out of the war. Let's also get a field marshal. We don't have one at the start, so we're gonna appoint this guy. Should have maybe done that a bit sooner, but whatever. You have urge restraint though here if you do get too much war support, so, you know, cool that we have like a safe check and are just not forced to declare war once this, you know, time's too much. But yeah, like I said, you don't really, like, this is no problem at all. But yeah, now another new thing is the army HQ. So basically your general being here on the front line. And honestly, that's a pretty cool thing now to add. So your general basically has his own division that he spawns in, and he can be in the front lines, and general can actually also be captured, and you'll have to free him then, or yeah, you lose him basically completely then. Pretty cool. Alright, with this complete, you will now get a decision, and it does state that you can also lose this limited war by being over 20% surrender progress. And there are some cool things also. They cannot join a faction. I don't think that's gonna change them doing the focus store with Britain and stuff like that, but yeah. We wanna get this over soon. They barely have anything on the front line now, so that's gonna be helpful. And yeah, I will just give you a speed up gameplay basically now, so have fun. And even though Saigon was a bit precarious after trying to bait them out a little bit here and there, we did manage to get that. And yeah, once we control all these states, we're gonna be victorious and we can either continue fighting, which, yeah, looking at the situation, probably not the best option. But yeah, let's get Indochina. And that's the first local war won. Let's get rid of that now. I don't need them anymore. We've now done this focus, so let us appoint the advisor or the non-aligned support, since we need that for our focus down there. And yeah, let's now get the research slot and then focus on our industry a little bit. For the British land, I will now wait, since my main issue just was, you know, the big border we would have if France was in the Allies and stuff like that. But yeah, now it's no longer a problem. Now we can easily just build up and have, you know, an actual army for the next local wars. We are gonna need a bit of compliance, so let's not be on military governor. Resistance shouldn't be too much of a problem. I also changed my garrison template to the one with cavalry now. But yeah, can also get the royal police, not only because we get some divisions once we go into a civil war, but also to reduce the resistance. Pretty good. Now with this research slot, what I will research is gonna be destroyers for later on, since we're, you know, gonna be needing a navy to get over to Tokyo. But with our focus tree, this should be no problem at all. Speaking of navy, let's also get the decisive battle expert. He's actually a little bit cheaper than the other two, don't know why. For these destroyers, we're gonna be needing some better torpedo launchers, since we're gonna spam torpedo destroyers, since torpedoes are pretty broken. We can also do an anti-fascist right now. Like I said, these things here either, you know, reduce our support, gain the faction more loyalty, whatever. Since we want to reduce fascism, and also we're gaining a little bit through the irredentism, but like I said, it's no problem at all. You can also increase your non-aligned support by appealing to some of these factions here, but I'm not gonna do that, because then I'm gonna be forced to do something they want, and they cannot force me. And also I can just wait with the civil war, like, I have all the time in the world, so I'm just gonna wait until this has slowly ticked to where it has to be. I mean, it's pretty close already, so like, it's unnecessary. I don't need to appeal for support. I can do this on my own. We're also gonna focus on industrialization, since you can either choose on industrializing or, you know, increasing your already pretty agrarian economy. So yeah, and now we can here choose between getting some buffs from Britain or from Japan. And I do like the research speed I'm gonna be getting from Britain here, so let's get that. Now, production-wise, we're gonna be building some anti-air, you know, still artillery and infantry. We're also gonna be building trucks, not only for supplies, but also for the focus down here, because we need 1,000 trucks for that focus, which is a lot. But yeah. All right, we have enough support now, so let's continue down there. I'm gonna get the free equipment from Britain, and yeah, the civil war should be no problem at all. And yeah, let's also get some cruisers. All right, the King's Gambit. We shall overthrow Fibun's government and restore the king to power, especially with the Indochina territory. The civil war should actually be even easier than it was before. I don't know why we have a Bulgaria GFX focus here. I don't know if that's gonna get changed when the DLC releases, but yeah. We actually don't lose any divisions, so that's cool. We do gain a few divisions over there now. It's actually the first time they spawn over there. Usually they spawn over here for me, but whatever. Guess I'm just gonna move over from there then. Pretty important to capture the capital. I think that's also gonna get changed, but yeah, there's no supplies up there from where you start, which can be kind of problematic if you don't have, you know, China. But yeah, Bangkok and some cities here and there, and then there should be no problem at all. Yeah, pretty fast. Had to change the leader for force attack since this guy's got reassigned. But yeah, and yeah, now we are finally monarchist. Now we finally have our king back in control. However, he's ailing, so probably gonna kick the bucket soon. So we're gonna have to put in a regency until his son is old enough to rule, since right now he's right now 12 years old. And what's actually cool with the focus to forge a king is we can educate him, and we can kind of choose which leader trait he will have at the end once he ascends to the throne. And it's a pretty cool concept for, you know, a ruler that's still, you know, underage and that can come of age in the time span of the game. And I liked it. But yeah, we'll see once we get to that. Anyway, we will train our navy now, so we'll get even more experience. We shall also get Prince of Nakhon Savan, since he's gonna give us some good naval buffs. Pretty good, probably one of the best advisor traits I've ever seen, honestly, if you're going for, like, if you need like ships and stuff like that. And we're also gonna start building some dockyards. And yeah, like I said, torpedo destroyer, torpedo boats. That's what we're gonna use to fight the Japanese navy. And yeah, we are gonna get this event here now 3 times. And once we select one of these things 3 times in a row, the trait is also gonna be a little bit more than just 15 construction speed, or like I've not seen the other ones. I've always picked the construction speed one. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go for that one again. So let's educate him in industry and development. Also, we're gonna go with absolute monarchy. Why? Weekly stability 2.5%. That's yeah. The minus 60 is actually not that much, since we are pretty low on stability anyway. So these are just gonna push us just a little bit down, since we already are at our like bottom limit of the stability. Like there's a base value, you know. So in reality, this is not minus 60, but we're gonna get a lot from the weekly stability. I will also go with the Absolutist Regent, because he's gonna give us the Sacred Hierarchy, which is gonna give us some compliance, which we need compliance to core everything here at the end of the day, but right now it's not gonna do much anyway, since we need all of these states to be able to core. So we don't need some British land, but before we get that, we gotta build up our army. Now we're gonna go for Grand Battle Plan, Large Unit Tactics, and there is now a new sub-doctrine. Dispersed operations, mainly focusing on you not having an air force and buffing your anti-air and stuff like that. Pretty interesting. I'm not really gonna go for that now, since I'm not gonna be going too hard on anti-air batteries, and I also still like Grand Assault more. For Naval Doctrine, we're gonna get Fleet and Being and Patrol Boats, since these are gonna give us some juicy buffs for destroyers. And yeah, I will wait to attack the British once World War II actually starts, or else we're gonna have like a lot of soldiers on our borders, since the French AI is still thinking, you know, we're gonna declare on them, cough cough. And yeah, the focus completed. As you see, the stability went barely down, and now it can only go up from here. Anyway, I will now focus more on the industry branch. And this is also pretty cool. You now get a national spirit based on your conscription. So since we're on volunteers, we're gonna get, this is gonna be a buff. The higher we go, the worse this becomes actually. So it's gonna debuff your, you know, these things are already debuffing your industry. Now it's gonna get debuffed even more. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's basically just, you should take this if you don't really, you know, don't really conscript your entire nation, which we don't really have to do. There are a lot of national spirits that are giving us recruitable population. We get some cores here and there, and also we have this guy here, Minister of Defense down here in the High Command, which gives us another 2%. So manpower is not really going to be that much of an issue here as Thailand, and you also have 15 million. That's pretty good, honestly, compared to other nations here. But yeah, we could actually go on disarmed nation, like it's just reducing it by 0.5. So we get like more construction speeds, and then we just take the Minister of Defense to get even more recruitable, actually. So yeah, with that, we're gonna get a lot of construction speed now. It's gonna help us build up our dockyards. Speaking of building up our dockyards, we also get a ton of dockyards through our Navy branch here. Like, every focus here gives us dockyards. As well, this side at least. The other one I would not really go for. It's kinda, we don't need a Navy, basically. But since we're gonna be fighting Japan, we will need a Navy. We can also increase the Navy funding, so let's get over there now. This is honestly finally a Navy branch I actually wanna click on, since it's more than here research speed and maybe some buffs, and that's it. It's finally something more unique. I actually like this one. Investing time into these focuses actually makes you easily become a great naval power with all the dockyards you get and buffs for naval dockyard output. Yeah, I actually like that one a lot. But yeah, pretty overpowered, to be honest. But I don't mind it, since you're fighting goddamn Japan, you know. It's pretty big naval power. Anyway, World War II has started, so we're gonna get there now. But first, let's get prepared for a long war and some supplies, which we're gonna be needing. You could also at the start go for a short war before the French war to get some, you know, more equipment. But except for the like free or field military factories, it's not really too much, and also these don't really do that much. I like the other buffs here more, since they also, you know, stay. But yeah, I like that. Actually, you can kind of choose what you want to do here. You know, wanna go for a long war or a short war or a medium war. They should implement this for a lot more nations, honestly. I could see that like being done for like fascist nation especially. Anyway, that's the third time this event is now popped up for me, and as you can see, I've now selected this 2 times already, and now the third time is gonna give us an extra modifier. Don't know what it is with the others. Like I said, I've only went for the industry one. But yeah, that does mean that he is gonna come of age now. In a year, we will be able to make him our ruler with this, you know, specially crafted trait that we now have. I like that. Alright, Britain, time to give me back my land. I kind of failed to train a little bit more troops, but don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine. First target is gonna be Malaysia. We do have to guard our border in Burma though, but shouldn't be a problem. Alright, as we see, since they are currently fighting, you know, Germany and stuff like that, their troops on the border are non-existent. So this should be pretty easy. One thing that's a bit stupid is we now fight for this territory, and then we fight for one port. So yeah, that's gonna look a bit stupid, but yeah, whatever. Let's rush down to the VPs we need. And yeah, like you see, they are gonna call everyone in. That's also kind of why I wanted to fight France pretty fast, since I did not want to guard like that big border. And yeah, that's that war. Let's immediately fight them again. Wow, what a war. I feel like this should be 2-in-1, but I can't understand why it isn't, since there's a chance Malaysia is gonna be independent because UK is gonna do stuff here or there or whatever. Or maybe someone annexes stuff here and whatever, and so, you know, could maybe be a bit complicated then. Anyway, now we just need Burmese land. Also, you can kind of select where the HQ should be on the front line or a bit further away from the front line. I didn't deploy it yet because I don't need it right now. And lastly, we have Burma, which also should not be a problem at all. We're just mainly gonna snipe for the VPs since that's what's gonna make us peace out. So in that sense, the limited wars are kind of boring, I would say. It's because all you do is just get the VPs and then you immediately peace out. I'm fine with it now since it's literally just for Thailand in a focus tree. It's not an actual mechanic. If they were ever to implement an actual limited war mechanic, would be cool if, you know, you had to hold the territory for a bit of time or something like that. Alright, let's return to our navy focuses, and with that focus now, we can invest into these lands here and get the compliance up. I don't think that's really that necessary now, but we do get a few things from that actually, so yeah, we're gonna do that. And we can also build up some forts, which we might need for the, you know, later. They're not that important though. We do get 3 strongholds from these though, so that's cool, I guess. But yeah, let's nuke our economy with that now. And that's also Burmese land now under our control. And with that, we have basically gotten everything we wanted without having to capitulate the allies. I do like this because otherwise this would be just so goddamn annoying. It's like one thing I really dislike is if you like want land somewhere and fight the allies, like what does it matter pushing them like out of Egypt now with Iran, for example, if what you have to do is, you know, capitulate their main territory. Though these limited wars are kind of boring. It's like barely a struggle. You mainly snake around their lines to capture the VPs. But yeah, I'm still more fine with that than having to capitulate London, you know. But yeah, the real enemy is Japan, since they will demand Tonkin and, you know, the rest of Indochina. So that war is kind of around the corner now. Looking at the date, so let's get our military to coastal guards. We're also gonna go on civilian oversight for the compliance. Alright, all the navy focuses have been done. We now have this modifier right here. We have 130 dockyard output. Yeah, that's a lot. But that's gonna help us actually build up a navy to do something against big bad Japan. But yeah, let's now get back to our industry one. I waited for that now since taking this one. I didn't want to take deficit spending right now since after this time's out we're gonna have some debuffs for a while. Yeah, we're building just dockyards now. Getting mills from the compliance, I suppose. I think I have 100 compliance here now, or like, yeah, close to 100. I just have to wait for these now, but they're not too far off. We do get a lot of compliance from the civilian wing and our sacred hierarchy. And oh, I've noticed something. Our king is of age now, so we can ascend him to the throne. Since this guy, he's not really the best leader, he's just military-wise good, but I don't like the research debuff and construction debuff. But I did have to get him for the sacred hierarchy. Probably out of all of these, I like that one the most. Yeah, that's definitely the best one. And there he is, Ananda Mahidol, the builder and industrial visionary. Alright, back to what I wanted to get. We have 23 dockyards now. Yeah, it's a lot more than we had mills that we've been building. Like I said, I did not build a single civ, by the way. All of these are from the focus tree. And yeah, with all the construction buffs here, it literally takes a month to build one dockyard with 15 civilian factories on it. All right, there is the big bad Japan. Now, yeah, important is to get our navy out of there, or else, I don't know, they're gonna get sunk. That may or may not have happened in a private run. I mean, this time I do have actual ships in that though, but yeah, we're gonna hold that. I will continue. This just 3 divisions that are still trained, so yeah. We will not give it to them. Was hoping they may maybe not do that now, but whatever. Would have loved to get the civilian factory from them, but yeah, whatever. Okay, they still haven't used their war goal. I mean, it's either them or the Malaysian factory then, I guess. And oh, we do get the off-field civ from them, so thank you. And now we do have enough compliance to core everything, so let's do that, since a lot of the dockyards that I'm building are gonna go to the non-court states. So yeah, we want to change that. And yeah, our old king has died now, but no matter at all, since we already have our successor in here. And now we get this white color. Don't know how to feel about that, but we are the Great Thai Empire now, and we get cores everywhere. That's great. Should give me a bit more factories now. I might convert some of these mills. I don't need that many mills. What I do need is civs. Well, Japan has declared war. And now, since historically I think Japan did invade the country for a second, since people was not responding to their demands, we can now have the choice once they declare on us to either say, okay, actually, you know what, we'll be your bitch. Don't worry about it. But we will stand our ground. And yeah, now we get this here, right there, this branch to help us defend. This is pretty cool buff we can get for like a second once they actually do have a landing, which honestly is cool. It would be cool if Japan, if China had something like that. But also makes sense to have something like that for China, since, you know, Battle of Shanghai, giving them some good spirit. But yeah, we already have a few destroyers now. It's going to be pretty helpful. I think they also are about to go to war with the allies, so we can join the allies then. And I need that because I need some dockyards that are, you know, not in any of these sea regions to continue training my navy. So let's actually send them over there now, so that I can maybe train them over there. We will only stay on the dockyards so that once they do try a landing, we can just destroy their divisions. If you're wondering what my template is, I have not changed it. Alright, a few invasions and they've already suffered over 100k casualties from me. So yeah, Japan, you stink. We're also gonna get light cruisers that are full of light attack. I have to show the template. If I say light attack, I mean light attack. Alright, they declared war on the allies, which should allow me to join them, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I have to wait until they send me a request or whatever. But I don't care that much, to be honest, because I can just ask for docking rights and then train my navy behind the Malaysian Straits, because yeah, I don't want that to happen. We're gonna increase the template to 18 width, and once we get the combat width reduction from large unit tactics, we're gonna add one more. Alright, it's time to use our navy to try and land in Taiwan and from there in Japan. Pretty easy like that, since then we only have to always cover one naval region. We really want to split up my navy, and yeah, we can already launch the naval invasion. Now it is important, I did research all the things down here. They're pretty important, I would say, to get a few buffs here and there, and these are my navy doctrines, though they are all not, you know, nowhere near leveled, so yeah. But it shouldn't be a problem at all, and if we now go into combat with the navy, you know, we should get some more levels from that. Anyway, let's force attack so that we get the port, and then secure Taiwan. And from there, secure the Japanese mainland. Alright, and now we patrol that until we have enough naval dominance. And yeah, there go the naval invasions. No problem at all. Force attack again. I made the naval invasion land completely around the port so that we can easily secure that one. And yeah, now where we sent all our divisions there, maybe not all our divisions. So yeah, that's my naval order has been cancelled, but yeah, whatever. Why are there 3 divisions missing? Where are you going? Oh, I see now. Please go over there. And yeah, now we just secure everything around here, or at least try to secure everything around here. These guys though will go over there. Yeah, no problem at all. I'm not really engaging any big ships though, but whatever. I mean, if they don't have the balls, it's not my problem. Let's get rid of that again, just to be sure. I don't think they're gonna naval invade me though, but whatever. Better safe than sorry, as they say. And yeah, let's just let the battle plan do its wonder, and there should be end of that war then. My oil is running out. Don't think that should be too much of an issue. And yeah, Japan, yeah, they're a pushover. They can't do anything against my superior navy, my 1 billion destroyers. And I only have 3 research slots, you know? You gotta remember that. When Sendai falls, I think that's gonna be it, right? Yeah, there they go. And, you know, how should the war support be divided, guys? Who should get most of the war support? You know, the one that actually, you know, invaded the mainland? Or the one that was constantly losing? Or the one that, what did these guys even do? What did they do? I wanna what did they do? I wanna know. What did they do? What did the US do? What did Britain do? What did they do? Where did that war score come from? I don't care too much, to be honest, but I will try to puppet Japan, I guess. if I can. Sadly, all I can do. I didn't want to take more because I know for a fact that, I barely have, and I had to fight tooth and nail over Hokkaido now. That would have definitely been a problem. Anyway, I don't really care about the industry, but I would love to have some resource rights on the steel, since my steel is non-existent. So I can't get more than that, since the game is a loser. But yeah, can't even get their navy, man. I don't have any points. So unfair. Should have foreseen that one. I should have foreseen that one, that they might do that. I didn't. My bad. Sorry. But they're in the Axis now, so they're probably gonna immediately fight again anyway. So what does it end? Why did the communists get Taiwan? Why did the communists get Taiwan? Guys, what are you doing? Anyway, our victorious army shall return home now. We have destroyed the Japanese. Our cool navy can go back to Bangkok. Now, after, defeating Japan, we're kind of like done. There's nothing more to do here, since we're already done once we formed the Greater Thai Empire, to be honest. Since that's kind of everything there is expansion-wise. Kind of sad that there's not maybe a little bit more, but sure. However, there's one thing that's kind of bugging me. One thing that is just unacceptable. One thing that, if you know me, has to happen, and that is unifying China. That's right, I left China, but I also stayed in China. No, all we gotta do is let them, deplete their guns by constantly attacking us, because they do have a ton of troops, which, not great. Also, I barely have my, sub-doctrines leveled, because, my infantry barely really fought. It was mainly just my navy that did stuff. But yeah, we're putting them under blockade now. Oh, one new thing that, everyone, me included, everyone, will hate, and I hope they do something, is subjects. They will now get pulled into the war. You cannot, hold them off, or, if you declare war, they're immediately in there. No, you have to call them in or something. So 90% of achievement guides are gonna be outdated now, since a lot of them require you to have like a puppet to avoid a front line. That is no longer possible. Also, I forgot about that, so Japan is in a war, they landed. So me might use that, since I'm not really getting through the mountains here. Well, one good thing, they're fighting the communists now. Don't know how good of a thing that is. Now, I'm using the high commands here now, and with them, you can kinda design the high command template. This is the one I'm using right now, since the HQ supports I have are kinda useless for these troops, except for the headquarters staff, since we get leader skill bonuses from them, which is pretty cool, honestly. Like that a lot. That, like, generals are even more, getting a bit more important. And yeah, I just staffed it with infantry, because I only have infantry. I could have maybe used trucks, I guess, but I'm just infantry. Oh, apparently I captured an enemy commander. I didn't even notice. Here you can see your army HQ templates. The cool thing is, not every general has, you have to do one template for every general. It's just a standard template you can use, basically, which is great. So this was the one, the basic HQ template. That's the one I'm using. I maybe could, give it the HQ one here. But yeah, oh yeah, now I have more stuff here. What researching does, could enable ability exploit breakthrough and general max army size plus. Wait, that's actually cool. Wait a minute. What? Wait, this is actually cool. I haven't seen these ones before. I never played that far to have that researched. Okay, interesting. Do you even have the equipment for that? I mean, it's just the HQ, so probably. That means, yeah, all this, they can hold now more troops. Yeah, I think they're gonna get destroyed now. All their warlords in the south have capitulated. Suffering a lot from just battle planning, but I don't really care that much right now. Shouldn't be taking too long anymore. They have like 1 billion troops down there, because I don't know what like the AI just does sometimes, but sometimes they just like to throw everything on like a ally, like their main front line barely gets anything. I wish I would understand that logic, but yeah, whatever. I'm losing a lot of equipment now. Since I wasn't really producing that much in the first place, I shifted heavily towards stockyards after getting everything I wanted, so yeah. I was kind of hoping the Japanese would land on Taiwan to capitulate the communists, but I guess not. Maybe I have to get all the way up there too. Alright, they're at 99% capitulation, so 1 more second and they will bite the dust. Maybe 2 more seconds, maybe 3 more seconds, maybe a few more seconds. Just capture Siam. Just capture Siam, man. Just put the war in the bag. Just put the war in the bag. And yeah, time to unify China. Why's there so much war score, bro? What the I literally can't take everything. What is going on? What the hell? This game flippin' sucks, dude. EU4R peace deal, where you cannot fully annex them, so you gotta fight them again. Okay, that justification is gonna do nothing because we have a truce. How long? Just a few months. No problem at all. Alright, then I guess we just... Maybe I should have destroyed the communists first. Oh, man. But how would I have known? How should I have known that? How would I know that? I need to do that first. Alright, landed in Taipei and... yeah, now these losers here are gone. And then we'll have to fight the Chinese again. Which, I mean, that should barely be a problem anyway. Am I getting that much compliance that I can release what? I can already make a Guangdong collab government. Sure. Okay. 1st of July. Our truce is over. So, yeah, round 2, I suppose. Oh, the puppets are immediately in the war. Okay. And that didn't take pretty long, but okay, like but this time I was but surely this time I can fully annex them. Right, game? Oh, everything has to be selected. Yes, okay. This time we can. Okay. Might have been because of the communists, since you know, compared to me, they have cores here everywhere. But anyway, we managed it without getting guarantees on them, since probably because the allies are still fighting the Germans. Okay, just so you know, this has been a back and forth. I don't know. Why are they in the axis, by the way? What the hell? Okay, historical AI, by the way. Anyway, yeah, I did it. I unified China, because that's what this was all about. Yep. Wait, it's a China video? Always has been. Unifying China as the Great Thai Empire. And now where's my secret focus that unlocks if you do that? That lets you core China. Where's it? I thought they added that. Huh? Must have been in my head. Before if it was peak. Anyway. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do, I guess. I don't even want to know what's going on here anymore. But yeah, and yeah, that is all for today. Reminder that if you want to get the DLC yourself, I have a link in the description that, you know, if you use my link, I get, you know, a share of the profit. So you're helping me out with that. And also the DLC is releasing, yeah, today, probably right now, but not where I'm recording from, on the 11th of June at 6 p.m. Central European time. So do the time math for your own region. But yeah, with that, this is all. So thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. And please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And see you next time. Goodbye.